wote wanapiga wendo mama yao, ni wewe nachagua sisemi.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Essie, and today I am back with an eyebrow tutorial for you guys. If you are interested in seeing how this situation happens, just stay tuned. You know, we're gonna go ahead and let it roll. Okay, so as you can see, I pretty much already had my whole face done, and then I left the brows bare because, again, like the title says, it is an eyebrow tutorial. And let's get right into this situation. So for me, I basically came out the womb with no brows. I've always had really like sparse brows. They're not that full, they're not that thick, and then like on this inner corner right here, they literally just don't grow. Like they just don't grow like at all. So I kind of basically had to figure out like different ways to fill in my brows and mess with so many different shapes. Like my brows have been through it, okay? Like all types of shapes, thickness, thinness, like anyway, where I'm at right now is more so the look that I kind of am into right now. I am not saying that my brow style might not change in the next few years or months or whatever the case is, but for now, this is basically the look that works for me. As far as anyone that's like just basically kind of starting off, you're trying to figure out how to fill in your brows, what to do with your brows, I would recommend first starting with finding, like, getting online and figuring out first the shape of your face and what kind of brows work for you. You can look up like celebrities that have the same shape face as you, the same kind of eyebrow structures as you, and then actually the kind of look that you like, and then see if you can just, you know, work from there. Whenever you're just starting off, you can always, depending on what you're trying to, I don't know, if you want to start off with something like one of these kits that come with like the powdered kind of version of brow fillers, that will require you to use a angled brush, or if you want to use a pencil or you want to use a pomade, it's really up to you and what you want to start with. But I would recommend starting with a pencil because I feel like pencils are just much easier to train with, because you're more so like just, it's like you're drawing, like literally just drawing, and it's almost like hard to go wrong with like how much product you put on your face, because with pomade it could go downhill real fast. You know what I mean? It's like you could put too much, you can have a little too much dip on your chip on that one. But with a pencil, at least you can always kind of control how much product goes on your face at the same time. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And as far as brows are concerned, please don't use black on your face. Your safe bet is dark brown. And there's usually so many different pigments and shades when it comes to dark brown, because every company makes products that kind of vary in how the product will oxidize based on whatever products you already have on your face. So it actually kind of works with the foundation that you have on your face, whatever other powders or setting sprays that you use on your face. And that's pretty much one of those things that you have to kind of play around with and figure out exactly what colors do basically work for your face. And yeah, as long as you just, you know, avoid, just, if anything, just don't use black on your face. Just don't. Just do not. That's it. Anyway, let's get into this. Today I am going to be using my Kat Von D brow pomade, and this one is dark brown, and it's the 24-hour super brow long wear pomade. And that's a lie. We're not gonna discuss how she really played with my life and I really thought this was gonna last 24 hours, but it didn't, and I did put it to the test. Cat. Then I've got brow gel, and all the words are like completely erased from this, but this is the I know it's the brow sculpting gel, but I'm trying to remember the Ardell, the same company that makes the lashes and everything else. And this kit is from Crown Brushes. It's the UK company. You can actually find them on Instagram. Last but not least is my Lamora small shader in number 120, and this is the hell. And this is the one that I use to basically conceal under the brow. And I actually got this from Amazon, and it came together with this Brow Duo 121 brush. So this is actually my next favorite one. So if I didn't have the crown one, I would definitely just be using this one. And it also had another, like a flat, what is it called? Another flat brush. It was 3 brushes in one. And it was 3 brushes actually, and they were all under brow brushes. And the total was, I think I paid about, I know it was less than $10. I definitely know that much, but it's definitely worth it because they're really like convenient, affordable, and they work really well. So shout out to Amazon for always coming through with the quickness on that discounted stuff. I've talked enough. Let me go ahead and get into this. So all I do first is, of course, brush them up just like that. And usually the rule of thumb of figuring out where your brow should start and where it should end is usually, okay, for the most part, for us black girls, because this part of our nose is kind of like wider. It's not usually, we don't have the European nose where it's like everything is just slimmed down. So this part of our nose tends to just kind of spread out a little bit more compared to other ethnicities. So I would recommend having your brow start like this part where your nose, kind of like cutting off your nostril halfway and having it like right here. Because if you do decide to start your brow like the traditional way of where your brow should technically start is usually like this part of your nose and the corner of your eye into this part. But the thing about that is if you have a big forehead like I do, it ends up leaving too much of a gap in between your brows, and then your brows just look like they're way too far apart. So yeah, I'd recommend to actually start here, to actually just measure and go right here. And basically, if you want, you could actually just put a mark right there on your face. And then basically facing straight forward, you want to go from your iris, like this part of your nose. Your iris should be, the end of your iris, the outer part of your iris should be where the highest part of your arch goes. So basically right here. And then for the tail of your brow, you always want it to be where your eye ends. So that's the only time you really need to use the end of your nose like that to kind of gauge where that would be. So it would be like around here. Like you never really want your brow to go past your eye because it gives your face sort of like a droopy look, and that's not really what you're trying to go for. You actually want your eyebrows to look, you want them to accentuate. Ooh, naambia kizungu ilikuja na meli. But you want it to accentuate your face and not necessarily make your face look like it's being pulled down. And that's pretty much it. I'm basically going to go ahead and take just a little bit of product because that's the other thing about, okay, the other rule is it's easier to add than to remove. So you always want to start light, then build up, because the last thing you want to do is have all your makeup done and then just have your brows doing a whole nother situation. Because I'm gonna go ahead and start with this inner corner right here and just basically lightly draw out the base of the brow and then go over the top to create the tail, because that's really mainly what I don't have, is a tail of the brow. So as you can see, like that's pretty much where I'm going to end my brow because I just don't want it too far out. And then whatever product I have on the brush, I'm just going to use it to blend in to the brow. And basically while you're doing this, you just want to keep brushing through the brow so you can sort of like not have too much product in one section. go. Oh my goodness. I'm hungry. I'm always hungry though, so that doesn't even matter. And then usually I'll actually brush the brows down and do like hair strokes going inwards, because if you ever look at your brows, they always have a pattern that they grow in. So we're gonna go ahead and do this and just now for the inner corner, I'm just gonna do like light hair stroke kind of look. And on the bottom, sometimes if you kind of like have like that, how I just smudged it out like a little too much, I don't usually worry about it too much because I will go in with my concealer, so I don't really freak out too much because I know I'm just gonna clean that up in a little bit. So then next step is the concealer. I'm gonna use my Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer, and this is in the shade Chestnut. Just put a little bit on the back of my hand, and yeah. And usually I like to start like from the well, it doesn't really matter what part you start from, but sometimes like it kind of helps me to start from the middle, kind of like just create the shape on the outside, then come back and sort of like work it like to the outsides of the brow. So okay, so start in the middle and then work it out on both sides. And if you do still kind of have, if you're in between waxing and you haven't really gotten rid of like the little hairs that are growing back in, if you blend your brow downwards, it actually helps you conceal the extra hairs that are still on your face. Then I'm gonna go ahead and grab my foundation. I'm just gonna go ahead and like kind of like angle this outer part just a little bit. That's pretty much it. All done. So you can definitely see the difference between brow filled in and no brow filled in, and you can see how big of a difference brows do make to a face. Hopefully one day I can actually just, you know, microblade these things and get it over with, but for now I'm just gonna go ahead and finesse my way with the brushes and call it a day. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and fill this other one out, and then I'm gonna show you guys the end result.